close your eyes and take a deep breath. Imagine a cold, rainy evening in London. You're sitting in your room, drinking hot tea. Suddenly, the door opens. Your best friends run inside, screaming with joy, "Ayesha, pack your bags. We are going to Turkey." Welcome back to the Fluent Verse Academy. I am your host, and today, we have a very special episode. We are going on a world tour with Ayesha. Our mission is simple: to make English learning as exciting as a vacation. In this session, we will practice shadowing. I will speak very slowly, and you will repeat after me. We will learn how to talk at the airport, how to describe beautiful places, and how to talk about food. If you are ready to change your life and your English, hit that subscribe button. Let's fly. The plan was made in 1 minute, but the preparation? It was madness. We only had 2 days. I opened my big suitcase. What should I take? I asked myself. I packed my favorite long coats, because Turkey is cold in the evening. I packed my professional camera to take high-resolution photos. I didn't forget my stylish sunglasses and the special gift from my sister, a premium perfume. My friends and I were chatting on WhatsApp all night. Don't forget your passport. Check your visa. We were so excited that we couldn't sleep. The night before the flight, I was just looking at the map of Turkey. My heart was beating fast. I was a simple girl from London, ready to see the land of the sultans. The morning came. We took a taxi to London Heathrow Airport. The airport was huge. There were thousands of people from different countries. The smell of fresh coffee and expensive perfumes was everywhere. We walked to the check-in counter. I felt a bit nervous. I gave my passport to the lady at the counter. She smiled and asked, "Are you traveling for work or fun?" I replied with a big smile, "For fun. We are going on a girls' trip to Turkey." She tagged our bags and said, "Have a wonderful flight, Ayesha." Then, we went through security. The security officer was very professional. He asked me to put my laptop and watch in a tray. "Step through the scanner, please," he said. I followed the instructions. Everything was clear. We were officially ready to board. Now boarding flight TK 1984. To Istanbul, the announcement echoed. We walked through the tunnel and entered the plane. It was a massive Boeing 777. The air hostess, wearing a beautiful red uniform, greeted us. "Welcome on board, Miss Ayesha." I had a window seat. The seats were made of soft leather. In front of me, there was a large touchscreen with hundreds of movies. I put on my headphones and relaxed. Soon, the engines started roaring. The plane moved faster and faster, and then we were in the air. I looked down. London was looking like a small toy city. The houses, the River Thames, and the big clock tower, everything was disappearing behind the white clouds. The flight was full of luxury. They served us a delicious Turkish breakfast, fresh cheese, olives, honey, and hot bread. I felt like a queen in the sky. After 4 hours, the captain's voice came. "Ladies and gentlemen, We are landing at Istanbul International Airport. The temperature is 12 degrees Celsius. I looked out of the window. I saw the blue sea, the Bosphorus. I saw the minarets of mosques touching the sky. When the wheels touched the ground, my friends and I clapped our hands. We are in Turkey, we screamed softly. The Istanbul airport was even bigger than London. It was modern, clean, and very luxury. After the passport control, we walked to the exit gate. My heart jumped with joy. My aunt was standing there, waving her hand. And behind her was a shining, black Prado V8. It looked so powerful and expensive. We put our bags in the back and sat inside. The interior was full of leather and the smell of success. As we drove towards the city, I saw the beautiful lights of Istanbul. It was more beautiful than the photos. We reached my aunt's luxury apartment. I was very tired, so I went in my room. The bed was so soft. I slept like a baby. The next morning, the sun was shining. We got ready and went to the most famous place in the world, the Hagia Sophia Mosque. When I stood in front of that building, I was silent. It was a masterpiece of architecture. The huge dome looked like it was hanging from heaven. Inside, the history was everywhere. I saw the beautiful Islamic calligraphy on the walls. I saw the old marble floors. I told my friends, imagine, this building is hundreds of years old. It has seen so many kings and empires. We sat on the soft carpet and prayed. I felt so much peace in my heart. It was the most spiritual moment of my life. After Hagia Sophia, we were very hungry. We walked into the small streets of Sultanahmet. The smell of grilled meat was everywhere. We tried the famous kumper. It is a big baked potato filled with cheese, corn, and olives. My feedback? It is 10 out of 10. You must try it. Then we tried the simit, a circular bread with sesame seeds. It was crunchy and fresh. We sat in a small cafe and drank traditional Turkish tea in tulip-shaped glasses. My friend asked, Ayesha, do you want to go back to London? I laughed and said, never. I want to live here forever. The next day, we drove the Prado V8 to Bursa. It is called Green Bursa because it has so many trees and mountains. We went to see the great Bursa Castle. This castle is very special. I explained to my friends, this castle was conquered by Orhan Gazi, the son of Osman Gazi. This was the first capital of the Ottoman Empire. We walked on the old stone walls. I could feel the power of history. We visited the tombs of Osman and Orhan Gazi. They were great leaders. Standing there, I felt proud of our history. The view of the city from the castle was breathtaking. Our journey continued to Konya. This city is very quiet and spiritual. We went to the Mevlana Museum, the home of the great poet Rumi. The atmosphere was so calm. We saw the Sema dance, the whirling dervishes. They were spinning in circles, lost in the love of God. It was like a dream. The streets of Konya were very clean and simple. People were very kind. One old man gave us free bread and said, Welcome to the land of peace. My heart was full of love. 7 days passed, like 7 minutes. It was time to say goodbye. We packed our bags again. But this time, my suitcase was heavier. It was full of Turkish sweets, beautiful lamps, and small souvenirs for my family. We flew from Istanbul to Lahore, Pakistan. When the plane landed, I saw the green land of my country. I stepped out of the airport and smelled the air of Pakistan. I was happy to be home, but my soul was still in Turkey. I opened my diary and wrote, "Travel changes you. It makes your heart big and your mind clear." My dear friends, this was the story of Ayesha. She traveled from London to Turkey, saw the history of Orhan Gazi, and felt the peace of Konya. Today's task: go to the comments and write, "Ready for adventure." Also, tell me, which city do you want to visit? Istanbul, Bursa, or Konya? I am waiting for your answers. If you enjoyed this mega session, subscribe to the Fluent Verse Academy. Hit the bell icon for episode 16. Keep practicing, keep traveling, and never stop learning. Goodbye for now.